Hey, back with another video. Today I'm reacting to Richard Wolff. Wolff, man. I ain't heard from him in a while. I ain't done a reaction to him in a while. He's one of my favorite people, man, which Richard Wolff is really smart. Subscribe, turn on post notifications, smash that like button up. Watch the video all the way through. I appreciate you. Let's go. Let's hop right into it. I don't want to waste no time because I want to see what Richard Wolff has to say because I really want to know his opinion about Trump, but let's go. Got me a burrito.
What are you expecting out of the next 4 years?
Wait.
What I'm expecting, and I want to underscore, you're quite right, but I want to underscore, I'm not predicting, I don't have that power, I don't think anybody does.
Facts.
I believe Mr. Trump is going to be overwhelmed by history. Nor is he alone in that. That has happened to most other political leaders. They, and often their adoring publics, overestimate how much they can do, how much they understand. So I expect him to be overwhelmed. Overwhelmed by the decline of the empire, which is continuing, by the mounting economic problems in the United States, because of the declining empire in part, and because we have as a nation a level of ideological obfuscation, I'll be polite, that makes it hard for Americans to honestly face their problems and come to grips with them. And in some sense that's our own fault as a people, but
that's powerful. He's going to be overwhelmed by history. I totally agree with what he just said. 1000%. Because there's so much that he's trying to do that I don't know if Donald Trump has anyone around him, because he employs people that only agree with him. I don't know if he has anyone around him who can explain to him how a global economic economy like the way it is now, we definitely need to do something about trade imbalances and the way we're treated amongst certain groups in power structures. However, though, how do we do it? Hey y'all, Mama Bear on. Mama Bear was knocked out. You wanna say hi? Oh, she said no. You want to shoot?
Does that only take a minute?
no.
Oh no. Okay. Never mind. All right, but yeah, like I agree with Richard Wolff. I think he's gonna be overwhelmed by history. We'll see. That was a really good point.
Between that and the forces at work, Mr. Trump doesn't have the insights, and I don't just mean him, but his group, his team, or whatever you want to call it. They don't have the insights that I see. They don't have the tools that I can see to deal with the problems that I can see. So I think he will be overwhelmed. Things will work out in a way he did not want and did not foresee. That certainly happened to Mr. Biden. It certainly happened to Mr. Trump at the end of his first race. And since he's a person given to doubling down, he tried to be more in the second time than he was in the first time, but along very similar lines, only more so. And I don't think that's going to solve any of the problems, except by accident. I'll go back to what I said at the beginning. He's going to be throwing Hail Mary passes often. And you know what happens? Most of the time, those don't work very well.
Not at all.
Sometimes they do. And that's the best he can do. And that's not so different from others, but it's been my experience that the situation shapes the leader far more than the other way around.
Yes, that's facts. I do want to say, though, yeah, there's a decline of the empire going on right now. Like, as much as we've spent out into the world and as much as we've invested into the world, and the world hasn't really invested back into the United States, that is something that's happening, which caused an imbalance, which is so woven within all the economies of the world right now, one tip of the rock could make it all fall down for everybody, not just us, but everybody, like literally, because our dollar is so woven in so many economies. Within that being said, I think Richard Wolff doesn't understand, yes, the United States is an empire like Rome, and each empire has its period and then it falls. However, though, this is different. I don't think anybody is thinking how different this is economically. When Rome fell, Rome was connected to that region, but there were other regions that were built just fine. There wasn't a commerce that was connected amongst everybody that kept everybody moving exactly. And the United States is the highest exporter of money for foreign goods. We buy the most stuff. So I don't know how the economies of the rest of the world are going to be able to, stay afloat without us being their biggest importer. We're the biggest importer to China, biggest importer to Canada, biggest importer to Japan, biggest importer to many places. We buy so much. I think if the United States falls, the rest of the world falls. I really do. I really believe that. I really do believe that. I think Richard Wolff, he's only looking at the capitalist view of how things should fall, and capitalism definitely does need to change, and we're leaning more towards a socialist society later. I don't care what any of y'all want to argue about in the comment section. We're going that way because everything is just not. We're going that way. But damn.
Déjà aujourd'hui, la question était au centre de la campagne électorale. Et que Washington a dans cet avenir la loi 96 du Québec sur la langue française. Ce serait, disent les Américains, un obstacle au commerce, notamment à cause des obligations pour l'étiquetage en français. Reportage Laurence Martin.
Avec le Canada.
Yeah, but anyways, hold on.
Jamais la langue française, jamais la culture canadienne, ni la culture québécoise.
My bad. But yeah. Richard Wolff, yeah. But let's keep going.
And I know that goes against more heroic notions, but that's what I see. The United States is going to have to come to terms with a reduced position in the world. It has been doing that poorly for some years now, so on one level, it's a continuation. But I am a Hegelian, and I understand that quantitative decline at a certain point becomes a qualitative shift. You know, the old model, rising temperature of water until it, at a certain point, becomes gas. Or the other way, it becomes a solid with ice. At a certain point, the adjustment downward of the American economy is going to shake the society by imposing a qualitative shift. I see the United States, if you want to argue a little differently, as headed in the direction of wealthy enclaves surrounded by a sea of people in pretty tough economic circumstances. That used to be the way the rest of the world, or much of it, looked. That's coming home to the United States. That's interesting. And I think Mr. Trump has cashed in on that phenomena. He's cashed in on the upset that this is already created when you get hints of all of this. But he is still able to cash in on it politically.
Yeah, and that's where I don't know what's going to happen next. Maybe I'm missing Richard Wolff's point, but I don't know what's going to happen next when it comes to the tariffs. Like, what's going to happen when we are so woven in with every economy and we're not bringing everything into those economies, right? Not saying that we shouldn't care. We should care about other people. It's just when other economies start crashing and they can't buy our products, right? And we can't export our products out to places. Or we don't have enough resources on a specific product. Like aluminum, we get 80% of our aluminum from Canada. Like, we don't have anything to set up aluminum here, and it would be a very complicated thing to do. Like, it would be very complicated. Just at the expense of American work, like the expenses of American work, all kind of things that play a role into this, but I definitely want to see how this plays out in the long run. Sorry for that moment. Like, it was just I don't know, it was just kind of loud. Like her phone was loud and she fell back asleep, I think. But anyways, I'm out, y'all. Peace. Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs.